Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will explore together the colorful and interesting world of wild boar, all 20 wild boar species, and their piglets. We will introduce to you unique and fascinating information about different wild boar species around the world. From dense tropical forests to wild fields, you will witness the unique life and behavior of each wild boar species, along with their cute piglets. Join us to explore and feel the beauty of nature, as well as the importance of protecting these wild animals. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and follow the channel so you don't miss any interesting videos. Of the 20 wild boar species found naturally on 5 of the world's 7 continents, the most distinctive species was discovered in Africa. Red river pigs are the only species that have bright colors and change significantly with age. Piglets have dark brown fur with light stripes and are not too different from wild boars. As the piglets mature, this juvenile coat color quickly gives way to red fur, and the white line across their backs begins to develop. Although the coloration of adults can vary depending on their habitat, most have a black mask with white accents, and males develop warts on the side of their snout, which are considered distinctive. Defense point and look similar to the boar we will meet later. This species is found in 19 countries in Central and West Africa, where it lives mainly in forest environments. The name Red River Pig comes from its habit of cooling in rivers and swamps. This species is omnivorous, consuming a variety of plants, birds, eggs, animal carcasses, and even domestic animals. Red River pigs are sometimes also called wild boars, but they share a genus with another member, unique in form and distribution, called wild boar. Wild boars also have red fur, but are usually much darker and have a white mask with a thick mane running from the top of the head to the back. Their tusks are small but sharp, up to 7 centimeters long, and like the Red River pigs, males have large warts on their snouts. Wild boars are found throughout eastern and southern Africa, occurring at the highest altitudes of any pig species, up to 13,000 feet on the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro. This species is primarily nocturnal, but feeds during the day during the cooler months. They are considered pests throughout their range, causing damage to agricultural lands and transmitting tick-borne diseases to livestock. The wild boar is the second of 6 pig species we will explore in Africa. The third of these species possesses the most impressive facial features on the continent. Wild boars get their name because of the many extremely large warts protruding from one side of the face and snout, which in males can be up to 15 centimeters long. The wild boar's tusks are also very impressive in the pig world and can only be compared with the most beautiful species, as will be discovered later. The life of a wild boar is very dangerous. In addition to wild dogs, leopards, and cheetahs, they are also frequently preyed upon by lions. To keep these giant cats at bay, wild boars use burrows. But instead of digging their own burrows, they often use aardvark burrows that have been abandoned for various reasons. These burrows are often slept in at night and are also where females give birth and raise their young. Breeding occurs annually. The exact time of year depends on their location, but usually occurs after the rainy season. The wild boar's gestation period is the longest of any pig species, lasting up to 175 days or nearly 6 months. The number of offspring can range from 1 to 8, but is usually 2 to 3. Piglets emerge from the nest at 6 to 7 weeks of age and are not fully weaned until about 5 months of age, becoming completely independent. Was established in about 1.5 to 2 years. Boars are primarily herbivores but are also classified as omnivores and will eat a variety of foods including carrion. To forage, wild boars kneel and use their tusks to dig underground objects such as onions. The common warthog has the largest range of any African pig species, found in 39 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, excluding Congo, the Horn of Africa, and southern regions. There are actually 2 species of warthogs, both very similar in appearance but distinguishable based on distribution and certain facial features. The desert wild boar or Somali warthog is only found in 3 East African countries: Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somalia. This species was once found in South Africa, where it was known as the Cape warthog. However, this subspecies is now extinct. Males of this species are most easily recognized by their warts, which curve towards the end. Aside from swollen areas under the eyes, these features are not apparent in females and juveniles. However, the ears of all members of this species have curved tips, in contrast to the erect ears of their common relatives. The desert boar is one of 3 non-forest pig species, commonly found in the savanna and shrubland ecosystems, despite its name. Existing vertically into the future, there is another species discovered in Africa that is also one of the most iconic. The wild boar, or simply wild boar, which weighs up to 605 pounds and is considered a pig. Largest forest in the world. Easily recognized by its larger and darker plumage, tusks and size, and males of this species have cheek pads containing numerous scent glands. As its name suggests, this species primarily inhabits forest environments, including montane forests as high as 12,500 feet, and can be considered grasslands alongside the common warthog where its ranges overlap. Groups of wild boars are called sounding groups, and usually consist of 6 to 14 individuals. In this species, the average number of piglets is especially large. On average, there are 5 piglets, but can be up to 11 piglets. Weighing more than 600 pounds, the wild boar is 30 times larger than the smallest species, the first to be discovered outside the African continent. The pygmy pig, the smallest species of wild boar, weighs no more than 18 pounds, and is sadly also the first species with conservation status that we discovered is endangered. It is found in the border area between India and Bhutan, although its presence in Bhutan is currently uncertain, and the population is believed to be no more than 100 to 250 successful individuals when assessed. July 2022. It is also the only species present exclusively in grasslands, a habitat found only in Manas National Park and Manas Tiger Reserve, apparently the most unsafe place in the world. Fortunately, there have been several captive breeding programs and a reintroduction program that began in 2008, and the species currently has a recovery rate of 8%. Pygmy pigs are one of only 2 species found in the Indian subcontinent, the latter having the largest range of any wild boar. The jungle is the second largest, with wild boars weighing up to 600 pounds. Although there are reports of wild boars weighing up to 770 pounds in China, if accurate, this would be larger than a wild boar. The species' native range is extensive, encompassing 79 countries across Africa, Europe, and Asia. We have also been introduced to 18 other countries across North America and Oceania, especially in the United States, where feral pig populations are a real problem. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, in addition to being brought to America in the 1500s, the Eurasian or Russian wild boar was also introduced to parts of the United States in the 1900s for sport hunting. Today, pigs found in the wild are either feral domestic pigs, feral pigs, or hybrids of both, and occur in all southern states and some northern counties. Domestic pigs, which will be presented in more detail in the following video, are considered by many to be a subspecies of wild boars, but there are also opinions that they are a separate species. In any case, when comparing domestic pigs with other wild boar species, it is easy to understand why they spread so quickly. Domestic pigs breed up to twice a year, compared to the annual cycle of many other species, thanks to a shorter gestation period, 120 days, compared to 150 to 170 days for many other species. And the number of females is greater, an average of 5 to 7 piglets instead of the usual 2 to 3. It is no surprise that the conservation status of the domestic pig is ranked as of least concern, and as we trace its distribution into Southeast Asia, we enter a part of the world that not only contains all species, but also some species at the highest risk of extinction. Bearded pigs, also known as Borneo bearded pigs, exist on the island of Borneo, but are also found in Sumatra and mainland Malaysia. The Bornean bearded pig is the first of 6 species we will explore with a vulnerable conservation status, and its population is declining due to habitat loss and fragmentation. In Borneo, this species is heavily hunted and plays an important role in the diet and culture of the island's indigenous groups. Researchers are trying to find a balance between preserving and respecting the culture of local communities. In size, the species is comparable to the common warthog, weighing up to 330 pounds. Litter size is usually no more than 8 pups, but can be up to 12 pups. At larger sizes, piglets have striped colors like many other species, which fade with age. And adults have long hair around their neck and muzzle, hence their name. This species is primarily found in both tropical forest and mangrove habitats, where it forages for a variety of foods. However, coastal species also use the ocean's tidal zones. There are actually two species of bearded pigs besides the Borneo bearded pig. Palawan bearded pigs are found on several islands in the Philippines, a short distance from our next pig species. The Visayan Warti pigs are described by the Los Angeles Zoo as the rock stars of the pig world. And with good reason. Before the breeding season, males of this species have a long mane that even Elvis would be proud of, which can be up to 23 centimeters long. Despite the same name, warty pigs do not display prominent facial warts like boars. Males of this species have 3 small sets on one side of their face, which are believed to protect them in battle. Piglets are born during the dry season, which lasts from January to March, and there are usually 2 to 4 cubs per litter. The weaning period lasts up to 6 months. At that time, they became tiny rock stars. The Visayan Warti pig is the only species in this video that is listed as critically endangered and is now extinct on 3 of the 6 islands it once inhabited. However, they are raised in captivity, and all these photos come from that. The term hairy pig can be used to refer to any of 5 species, all of which are found between the Philippine archipelago and Indonesia. In the Philippines, Oliver's warty pigs are found in the northern part of the island of Mindoro, and Philippine warty pigs are found on the surrounding islands. The 2 species mentioned earlier target Indonesia. The Javan warty pig is another species that is currently listed as endangered and is found on the island of Java. Finally, there are the Sulawesi warty pigs found in the east, where we meet the next and most beautiful pig species. Babirusas sulawesi is one of 3 species of the pig genus, possessing some of the most impressive tusks of all wild boar species. Although quite small for a pig, weighing no more than 220 pounds, males of the species have 2 sets of long tusks, which can grow up to 30 centimeters long and compete with boars, which can grow to similar lengths. Both sets of canine teeth grow upward and curve backwards. The tusks in the upper jaw penetrate the top of the snout. While tusks were used as weapons in other species, the Babirusa was known for the brittleness of its tusks, and because of their long curves, they were believed to serve more as a shield for the face. These animals are also known as pig deer, a translation of their Malay name, which relates the similarity from the long tusks and antlers to the short and sparse hair. The species also appears to be hairless, and its young do not have the longer striped fur typical of many pig species. Some researchers believe that there are 2 species of Babirusa on the island of Sulawesi. However, the IUCN does not list Bolabatu Babirusa as its own species. However, there are 2 other Babirusa species located on several small islands near Sulawesi. The hairy Babirusa is found on 3 islands east of Sulawesi, and the Togian Babirusa, found on the Togian archipelago in Tomini Bay. As a side note, looks completely idyllic. All of the species discussed so far are members of the family Suidae. This family shares the same subgroup with another family, Suidae, members of which are called peccaries and are often referred to as New World pigs. It would be a shame to cover up wild boars without exploring their New World relatives. Other than pygmy pigs, peccary pigs are much smaller than their Suidae relatives, weighing between 90 and 110 pounds. And although they look very similar, the 3 genera in the family are all monotypic, each containing only 1 species. The collared peccary is the only species in this video found naturally in the United States, with a range that ranges from Texas and New Mexico in the north to Argentina and Brazil in the south. It is also the most common of the 3 peccary types, and the only one of the 3 listed as of least concern. Piglets have lighter fur than their parents and have white collar characteristics from an early age. This species is found in a variety of habitats from forested and open forests to arid and semi-arid areas such as grasslands and deserts. Their diet also includes a variety of foods and depends on the habitat, but can also include plants and small animals such as insects and their larvae. Predators include big cats such as jaguars and mountain lions, which have similarly wide ranges across North and South America. The white-lipped peccary is the most recognizable of the three species, which lacks a white band behind the neckline and instead has a thick band of white fur below the snout. This species has a very similar range to the collared peccary found in most of Central and South America, but does not extend further than southern Mexico. Herd sizes can be much larger, from small herds of 5 to hundreds of individuals, making movement through the forest quite difficult. This species is the smallest of the three peccary species at just a few pounds heavier, on average heavier than the collared peccary at 88 pounds and about 20 pounds lighter than the largest and last. The Chacoan Peccary is visually very similar to the collared peccary, which also reveals a white stripe behind the neckline, but can be distinguished in a number of ways. In addition to being slightly larger overall, it also has a larger head compared to the rest of its body and also has a longer back. The distribution of these two species is also quite different. The Chacoan Peccary is only found in a relatively small range between Bolivia, Paraguay, and Argentina. Its name comes from a region called Gran Chaco, a region of diverse lowland forests and grasslands famous for its wildlife. So we have learned about the diversity of wild boar species in the world, from the world's largest wild boar, the forest hawk, to the small but vibrant white-lipped peccary. Each species has its own characteristics and preferences. If you want to continue exploring the world of wildlife and learn about different animals, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Here, we will provide you with interesting and engaging videos about wild animals, along with detailed information and beautiful images. Experience new and exciting adventures with us on our YouTube channel. See you again in the next videos.